Hello, everyone. How are you? My name is Danny. Today, I want to talk about the American dream. And I know this is a hot topic because I'm going to be talking about undocumented people and legal U.S. Residents or U.S. citizens. And a lot of times we take things for granted. Before I start with this topic, again, I don't want to hurt anybody with my comments or uh, some of the things that I'm going to be saying. As I said before, this is one of these controversial things that may hurt a lot of people in different ways. And some people do it deliberately, some do not. Some people like me are trying to find solutions. Although I'm not a politician, I'm just a blind person and trying to see how we can find a way to make sure to tone down, bring down this hostility toward one another, as this is only breaking the fabric of the United States of America. At least that's what I think. With that said, I have been receiving a lot of notifications, not only on this channel, but on my Spanish channel as well. And so, thank you. Even though some of these comments are good, bad, or ugly, let me assure you that I will get to them. And I do know that some of you have been suggesting topics. Some of these things are really painful, are a bit hard to talk about because, again, I talk about things that affect me in one way or another. So this is one of those things. I may do a second part or a third part to this video. I don't know. It just depends how long I take to talk about what I want to talk about. Anyway, for the past few years, we have been seeing how thousands and thousands of people have been crossing the border. They're not necessarily coming from Mexico, although some of them are. A lot of them are coming from places in South and Central America, and others are coming from Europe. And the problem that a lot of people find with this is, well, you're taking resources from the people that need it the most, including homeless people and other people who have low income, and people with disabilities and so forth and so on. And education-wise, well, especially in places like New York City, where they've had to relocate some people, right, and try to make some space. And the controversy is, well, why are you taking stuff away from us? Americans first. This is what a lot of people say. It's not my opinion. I think we're missing a picture here, or we're missing a big part of the picture. And this is where I think a lot of people are not going to like what I'm going to say. There's a thing called justice. And one of the things I think that has escaped people's mind, and I've talked about this before, so this is not going to be the first time, is that even before the United States was considered a country, because it wasn't, it was a part of the United Kingdom, or of England, if you will, we would hold slaves. We had a bunch of them, thousands and thousands of them. And then we started segregating them after freeing them. Not only that, but we also treated Native Americans pretty harshly and bad. We treated them as if they were savages. Not only that, the United States has also done things to people with disabilities. If you do not know the history of this country and what's called forced sterilization, which not only happened to people with disabilities but also to the black community, please go ahead and research this movement that started, I think it was back in the 1930s to early 1970s, I believe. And the whole process was to make sure that certain people didn't reproduce, didn't have any more children because of the way they were going to come out. We wanted to make our race pure, if that's even a thing. And this is where this whole movement came in. The process of forcing people. And this was done. And obviously they had to stop it, but a lot of lives were ruined because of this. I will see if I can link a book that talks about this. It's a really harsh thing. I couldn't finish it. It's been several years since I opened the book. It's also available in, I'm not sure Audible has it, but I know that other services that provide books for blind people do have it, and I'm sure it's available in print as well. But I couldn't finish it. It was too harsh. Maybe one of these days I'll open it again and read through this whole thing because it's really just painful. Anyway, that's not the topic though. But what I wanted to say with this is the United States has caused a lot of pain, a lot of hurt to others. And let's not talk about Latin America, because I've spoken about this on my Spanish channel. Anyway, so when this country finally had its foundation, finally started growing, finally started expanding itself, it's kind of like we've forgotten who actually built this country. This country was not necessarily built on immigrants, if you will. This country was built upon the backs of slaves, upon the backs of people who were privileged, pretty much, right? People who, I think I said that wrong. This country was built not by the people that came here, by these wealthy people or whatnot. It was built by people that were forced to do things. And it's sad. It's sad because a lot of people are saying, well, my father did this or my grandfather did that. I don't doubt that. Your grandfather, your father, your generations before you could have done great things. But let us not forget that before them, there was another generation. And so what started this country great, again, were the slaves. The people that started this country, were the people that made it great, were the people that came here from other countries, no matter what status. the thing is that they came here. And again, I go back to this country has done a lot of harm to people in the United States, even those who are vulnerable. And so it's ironic, if you will, that hundreds of years later, a lot of people are complaining because a lot of undocumented people are entering the United States. And supposedly we don't know what they bring or anything like that. Well, wasn't that the same thing with Europeans? Native Americans didn't know what Europeans were up to. Native Americans didn't know what was to come. And you could say, well, back then it wasn't a country. I agree, it wasn't. But as I said before, justice doesn't care about that. Justice only knows one thing: justice. Am I making any sense? That means that if I hit you, doesn't matter if it's in your house, outside of your house, at a bar, at some other place. The thing is that somebody is going to pay for that. It's either going to be me down the road, somebody is going to hit me much more harder than I hit you, or one of my children, one of my children's children, etc. But somehow this is going to come back to me and hurt me in some way or the other. Kind of the same thing what the earth does. When there's a tsunami in places like Japan or China, it doesn't only affect Japan and China. It affects all of us in one way or the other. Same thing that is happening now. Generations before us have done a lot of bad things, and I keep on mentioning this so the message can be loud and clear. So in the same way that those generations have done bad to other people that were less fortunate than we are, that didn't have any protection whatsoever, doesn't matter if this was a country or not, we have to pay for the things that other generations before us have done. And the only way that we can escape this is if we start by recognizing, yes, I didn't do the damage. Yes, I didn't hurt other people. But I never know if it was my grandparents, my great-great-great-grandparents, or somebody else. But the thing is, somebody from a distant past did something to these people for generations and generations. And that still is open. That wound is still open today and is not able to be healed properly. Because still today, we pick on that. Body part, if you will, that's injured. And so it's not going to end up healing the right way. And this is what's happening today. These people that are coming in with their dreams, their hopes, they're coming just as the other people did. As your great-grandparents and other generations before them did, with their hopes and dreams, coming without a cent and trying to make it better, just to send a little bit of money home. You might say, what is that to us? Why should we pay the price? Why should people invade us? Well, again, think about it. We have invaded other countries. See, it's easy for us to blame those people, and we call them invaders. But haven't we thought for a second that We have so many military bases in who knows how many countries. Have you ever stopped to think? Have you ever been to other countries and asked those people, do you like having a U.S. Military base in your country? Do you like having this or do you like having that? Now, again, there's going to be divided opinions. Some might say yes, some might say no. But the thing is, I think nobody likes it when another culture tries to get into their territory in some way or another. And either by TV, radio, fashion, or another way, the United States has invaded other countries, not only in the military, if you will, but in other ways as well. And so this has left the United States with a poor image. And certainly people that come to the United States with this whole thing of making money, a lot of them have forgotten where they came from, or by trying to help one of their loved ones have actually made things worse. And certainly America is the first one to blame for this. We as Americans are the first ones. This is why I wanted to talk about the American dream. In spite of what you may think of George Carlin, good or bad, I think he was right when he said the following about the American dream. It's called the American dream because you have to be asleep to believe it, which is true. You have to be asleep to believe in this myth of the American dream. Because the truth is that the American dream is not for everyone. And a lot of people don't like that. A lot of us have been spoon-fed to believe that anyone can achieve whatever they want if they just put their mind to it, if they just put their heart into it, if they just work hard enough. If you have seen my videos before on prejudice attitudes, I think I have 4 parts, and other videos that I have made on this channel, you're going to see that for some of us, the American dream, sure, it might be to have a house, to have a job, to have a family, but for some of us, it's as simple as to socialize with other people. As simple as that. And unfortunately, the first ones to say, nope, you can't do this because you're blind, so we're not going to let you, are the American people. So please tell me exactly what are you talking about then with you can achieve whatever you want? I didn't know that enable for me to have the American dream, I had to struggle. For me, a dream, it's not going to be easy. Nobody said it was going to be easier to achieve any dream. But it also shouldn't be impossible to reach. It should be something that you should be able to work for. You should not be killing yourself. You should not be wasting your strength, wasting the life that you have just so you can achieve a dream. You should be able to work for it. You should be able to take some time to rest. And when you get to that finish line, when you have finally achieved that dream, you could feel better about yourself. But so many people are so stressed out trying to hike up that mountain to get to that finish line, to get to that dream, that before they get there, they finish because they're too exhausted to keep on going. And this is exactly what's happening to a lot of people. So one of the things that has happened with the American dream is these newcomers, and by newcomers, I'm specifically referring to people that come from Latin America, because they have seen TV shows, movies, they've read books and other things talking about the American dream. If it's not spoken about, with the words, it's shown with their actions. They show the big cars, big houses, big TVs, all of these things. And again, as I said before, because the U.S. culture, its fashion, and everything else have been brought into these other countries, there is a distorted perception of what the American dream is. So a lot of people, even on social media, show things like your expensive watches, cars, boats, etc. And a lot of people who may not know better will look at that and say, wow, look at them. They have a lot of money. The U.S. is swimming in money. They can't even imagine that this is only a facade. This is only a mask that people are trying to put on. A lot of people don't realize that in the United States, not only are we in debt, regardless of who's to blame when it comes to political or anything else, we are in debt not only as a country, but also as individuals. As a blind person, as a totally blind person, I can tell you that I'm in debt. Why? Because we're trying to achieve something that we are not going to be able to get. We're trying so hard to be accepted by other people. We're trying to become somebody who we are not. So what I said on my Spanish channel about this is that as Americans, we go to these Latin American countries, or even Latinos go into their own country and start showing stuff to their family members or to others. Look what I brought you. Look what I have. And so these people, again, are left with a distorted view of the United States. I'm going to leave this here. I'm going to obviously make another video and keep on talking about this, as I think this is real important for everyone. And hopefully we can get to a solution, because it's more than obvious that our politicians don't want to do anything about it. Thank you very much for listening to me, for watching my videos. I am more than happy to continue to make these videos, again, not only about social issues, but issues that surround people with disabilities, some of the things that we are facing on a day-to-day basis, talk about politics, because all of these things, believe it or not, do affect especially people with disabilities, although you may not believe it. And so the purpose for this channel is to make or have people become aware that as people with disabilities, we are also affected by the things that the sighted or able-bodied community does. So thank you very much for joining me. If you would like to subscribe to my channel, please do so. Comment, send any questions, suggestions. I will try to follow your suggestions, right, to reply to any of your comments. And thank you. Thank you for the support. I remind you once again, if you're going to comment, please do it respectfully. Please do it without cursing. Let's show other countries that we are still a civilized nation, like we say that we are, and let's act that way. Because when we show others who we are, either by threats, with cursing, with all of those things that only injure us. It says a lot about us as individuals, as a nation. That's what I leave you with. Thank you very much. Have a nice day.